Welcome back, folks, to Pix TV. I'm yours, Pix, as usual. So, we were back with another two-hour play on New Diana. It is cycle 10, day 12. So, what did we cover? Just a bit of an overview from last time. I'm moving the bad water from here to over here. And this obviously will open up this bottom section a bit better. There's a still question about where I'm going to actually put the... And we will have a dirt excavator on here at some point, but I'm still unsure as to where I'm going to have it yet. I'm still not overly happy about, obviously, the housing situation, but we'll have to sort that. It would be nice to be able to get this... Get the scrap metal out of the way and start to take this down to give us a bit more room. Now, we could use it for logs, which, as we know at the moment, my situation on the logs is not great, to say the least. I do try normally, even then in the other place, to keep the log situation a lot higher than it is. So, my apologies for that, because it does slow, obviously, production down to a crawl. But anyway, let's get into it and see what we can accomplish in this play. We've still got some, obviously, inventors inventing. Now, we've got enough water so far, and I have to remind myself not to use all the water up, which would be a good start. I'd like to sometime, like I said, do a straight line through there, but I need another source for, like I said, I need another source for... trees would be a good start, and definitely I'm still not sure now. Like I said, in a previous personal play, if you like, I've basically taken all this down flat and started what I call an under soil, if you like. Class this as soil, I class it as dirt, but under certain soil irrigation system, which works really well, but it's an enormous amount of work to to do, if you like. So it may be something we look at, or there may be other alternatives. I don't know yet. I'd like to obviously extend this out as well, so there's a lot to do and a lot to get through. So let's get in with it. We just need to solve this wood problem. And this will allow me to obviously increase the well-being, which is something I want to do. Also, it says broken teeth there. Now, what's the workplace? I don't know whether the broken teeth would actually come under the workplace, because it's not really a workplace, is it? It may be a well-being. I don't think I have one. So that might be something that I need to solve pretty pronto. What's that? A medical bed. Unfortunately, I can't actually get nothing in there. We could put it there, I suppose. Let's see if it is in well-being. Yes, it looks like it's in well-being. I may have taken it out in a previous play. So it just so happens to want logs, which is like everything else in this game. It would be nice to... I think I increased the vacancies, but because it's a bit of a non-starter, because if these are running, which they are, we can see here, they're classed as... they don't... they come in with a 6, so really you haven't got any vacancies, because these are on as an option. In fact, actually, they're not as an option. That one's not. That should be further down. That's a mistake by me. I'm sorry about that weird sound. Sometimes I wish you could to turn the different sounds off, to be honest, because it can get a bit annoying in the end. But yeah, I must have left that to normal and not realised that obviously these are not going. Now this one's going. The option to get some logs back might be to get rid of these, I think. And that will give us some logs. Let's put it in faster speed. That's going to give me a few more, and obviously other things are now going to get built. I need to build, obviously, the teeth to get that going, just otherwise we are, you know, going to have a problem here. That's always one to get going. We're just waiting now for that. That's been done. That's good. We've got some more. We've got some more logs there, but they're deciding they don't want to pick that up. So, like I said, I want to get this going, and it's not going to be a quick. It's not going to be a quick fix. And obviously, I'm going to have to do something with these two here. And I don't think I can walk over that. If I remember rightly, I can't. No, you see, I can't walk over that. So we may be. I think it'll reach from there actually. This one here, and obviously I can make a ladder to go up here and around and sort of get this one done and then this one done. So I'll have to work something out for that, but obviously it's all dependent on the log situation. And I've caused this problem myself. This is a bit of an Uber problem, which is obviously something that I have to solve. I've got no... I've just noticed that storage for explosives is, I think, non-existent, I think. Yeah. I've got one up at the top. So that's the only explosive, and obviously I was using them up there. It's a question mark, where do I want them? And how much I want to blow up of this place. Obviously, I need to get the scrap metal out of the way. That's another bone of contention. And then find a place to actually put it. Now, it may be quite nice to... If I'm going to use this as a... like a reservoir... I want to... I'm going to have to flatten it. Now... I've obviously got the ladders here, which is good. So, it may be worthwhile starting to flatten this off. Now, there's another bonus in that. If I flatten this off, I might be able to use it for doing some other stuff, like storing some logs or... things like that. Now, I have got an idea for a... I don't think I can show you on it. I don't know whether I've got it unlocked. But it doesn't really matter, because I could actually unlock it, to be honest. Yeah, so... I did... No. I don't have the room. I have that unlocked, but I can't show you what I want to show you. Maybe on here I can do it. If I do that. Yes, I'll unlock it. Okay. Now, it will use up. So, this is obviously the underground. Now, obviously, the underground can only be underground because, well, it's underground. But that'll give me 1,000. So, let's say, for instance, I want to store logs. Or I want to store planks or something like that. Now, the next option would be to put... that's going to cost me another 1,000, but I don't think it's them ones I want. Nope. It may be that one. Nope. Too short. So it could be that one. That one or more, if you like. So obviously on the underground, I could get this perfectly under there and still obviously have... I'll unlock that, doesn't matter. Like here. Let's just say I have it here. I'm not going to have it here, but, you know, that means I've got 1,000 for the underground. I'm trying to use the least amount of space as I can to store the most amount of stuff. I know that sounds... It sounds right in my head anyway. I think you'll get what I mean. Obviously, this is bigger. This is obviously slightly bigger than what we gonna need. But obviously, I've got to have that in there, and that obviously could be paused. And I've got to have a path. Now, we could put other things on here if we really wanted to as well. You know, say water, maybe some food. You know, what we're trying to do is some respecters here is when they're walking around and they get hungry, you don't want them to walk back and have to go get water. You know, it's nice to just plop it around, for a better, strange wording, but plop it around the map, or put it around the map, as ever, and be able to, you know, give them some what they want. So it'll obviously speed up the, you know, things that we want to do. Now, I don't want to put that in this way around, because that means they won't be able to get into the underground. But if I do it this way, again, I'll pause it because I don't want them to build it. But there you go. Now that solves that problem. Great. Now, we can't now... See, it doesn't go this because of this. So, it's got to be like this. We've still got the... This is where the ladder just is such a brilliant, you know, a brilliant one to have. Now, obviously, that's open. I can't get over there. So, it's sort of now we have to build up this again. And just go like that. And then we, again, have a back to the storage and keep doing that. And obviously we can keep going up with the ladder. So I think that's I know it sort of takes up, obviously, it takes up less room. If you put 2, then that's it. It would, but we could have this quite high. So at the bottom, whatever I have at the bottom, say I have logs, then I could have planks. Then I could have, you know, other storage, or you could actually change it to if you didn't want that, for an example. Let's go back again. You can't really get 2 in, but maybe, you know, maybe you want to store, maybe you want to put a large warehouse. Something like that. You know. Or you could put the large warehouse underneath and then have the other. There's so many variations that you could do. You could even have the water up there. Now, I do have a version that uses the large warehouse and, you know, in my mind, and the large tank. But I just thought, you know, something like that would actually... On here, especially on here, it's so beneficial to try and... You're taking up the 3, you know, the 9 squares plus this. And, let's cancel that. Where I just had this, if it was at the other side, or that side for an example, you could have almost like if you worked it out, like a hexagon of them. You know, so there's possibilities with that. I haven't fully decided how the hell and where it's going to be, but you can imagine something like we're here. I know it's obviously, you know, not flat and all that, but that would be the place to have it. So yeah, so that's something we're gonna consider as well, and see what we can actually achieve in this you know, playthrough. I just thought I'd mention it. You know, it gets, you know, if you've not played this game before, it gets you in the mindset. It's thinking, oh, how can I do these things on this is a... We're not playing it on the hardest, Apocalypse, or whatever else you want. It's plenty on normal. But it's still... If you can play this map on normal, you can play all of them. Because it's technically the hardest map, because it's the smallest... Well, it's not the smallest map. There's people done, like, a 16 square one. But I don't understand what that any use is. You can't do nothing. You know, this is sort of the, to me, maybe the minimum, minimum you could have. But anyway, I digress. And my apologies for going through that, because I just thought it was important to, like I said, when you start this game, and I didn't even know, like I said, I didn't even know you could pause them or what the pausing meant, and it took them out. So, all the other ideas that I've had since I've played, and that what you saw with the underground system there up there when I just showed you, actually came from, I think, the Plains play. It was a bit of an inspiration, even though really that's such a big map, it doesn't matter. But it's nice to keep individual parts all there, So, we started to get more logs, that's a good idea. I've obviously turned off the plank situation. So, that's a bit of a problem. But I need to get... how are we doing for... I can't tell at the moment. See how these are running. The water situation is okay, but it's not brilliant. Now, go to storage. Obviously, I've unlocked the medium, which needs gears, which I've got enough gears and I've got enough planks. Just if I'm really worried about the water, which it would be nice to have one here just as a backup. So I'll put that there and we'll get water. And I'll say build that, get on with it. Right. And obviously we're getting quite a lot of water now. So I mean that's a lot of when we get the large, it's 3-to-1. So it's 3 singles equals 1 of the large. So we'll have to comment down. So there's our drought. So what I'm going to do, it's a 7-day drought, is turn this off, because I will lose all the water otherwise. There's no point in me building that now. I'd forgotten that actually there was a drought, because it was right in between the... So I'll just turn this off. This, will return a little bit of water, not a lot. We probably could do with some... I'll tell you what we could do with here. Which I'll delete. This will help. What floodgate situation have we got? Let's have what we call a gander. I've got the 1. Which is alright really, because I can't do any more than 1 anyway. I'll build that. That's going to take planks, which means I can't do anything else but that. I'll just pause these, because that's, I don't think I'm going to be able to get any more than that actually done. We need 5 planks. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a log situation. So let's turn that on. I'll allow that. So for next time, when I get that, I'll increase that. That will just save a bit of water. And the only slight disadvantage of that is I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to be utilizing it. Not that I'm not going to use it, if you get what I mean. We have got so water left. We got 6 days. It's going to be close. We've got the 500. I may just utilize just 1. I try to keep that going. As long as we keep it steady, but not try and take all the water. Obviously, these are still running. Now, I could obviously pause this one. It's not building anything, but that might kill off any of this. I could try and pause that as well. I don't want to try and... because they need to come over and keep filling this fluid dump up. But I don't want to use all the water. Now, I've got back to 600 with a single one, so that's okay. We will put it on fast. Like I said, I've still got the inventors, so I've got no problem with that. The log situation is getting a little better. Obviously, I can't use any explosives anymore. So, that's a bit of a problem. I think I'll go for the medium here and put that for the explosives. It's not going to be any use this time, but it will be in the future. It may be beneficial to build that storage thing that I was actually designing up here anyway. 1,000 is quite a substantial amount. But just let me pause. Apologies here. What can I actually store in there? Now, I could actually store scrap metal. That might actually be beneficial. Because all of this is quite a lot. I want to get this out of the way. So I can start thinking about dropping this section. I may drop it right the way around the mine, just leaving one square. So that might be an idea. You know, it's all about these. It's all about these little things that we have to do to, you know, fix the problems that we encounter. Obviously, I've blasted this, so I can even. I won't be able to get to there, but I can get to there. I've got to be careful because I haven't got a lot of, as we can see, I've only got these a lot, and I can't get any until the time. I think that's a lot cheap. I think that's cheaper than. Yeah, that takes four logs and 4 planks, and that only takes 1 log of 4 planks. That's cheaper. That made that... because if I'd have gone there, I could only get there, so I need to get to here, so that's why I chose that. Well, that actually might be even more expensive. There's a slight variation to this, I think, that I could come up with. I'm not saying it's any better, I'm not saying it's any worse, but... well, actually, no, actually. That actually... why did I bother building that? I just realised. That was a bit silly. I didn't even need that, because it's down to the ground, isn't it? Never mind. Pigs doesn't understand the basic concept of ladders. Once that's built, I've got 40, so we can possibly take out this one as well, I think. Well, actually, we can get that one from there anyway, because they'll walk around here. I don't know where I'll have the line for this. Maybe here? And come... but I'll need the dirt excavator to be able to do it. I don't even know whether I could actually... no, that wouldn't work. I was thinking, could I put the dirt excavator on there and have it go downwards? I don't think so. I could certainly have it on anywhere around here. But I'd have to block it off, because you don't want all the water and the bad water to go down there, you see. That's the thing. All these decisions that we have to decide. But this one, this will be brilliant. Because this will be a huge amount of area that I can blast out and I mean, I may have to fill it with levees, but I don't really want to. But it may be the only option, unless maybe I could put a dirt excavator there. But it might, if I put the dirt excavator there, like something like this, it's gonna cut into that. It's always a pain. This thing. It's such a big unit to have, and you don't mind cutting into certain things, but you don't want to cut into others. I mean, it may. It's a bit small, but size doesn't really matter. It does if it's there, but I think that would have to go. I think the plants will have to go because I don't think it'll work with the plants being there. But the problem being is how the hell do I get power to it? That's another issue. But obviously, if I move all this, I might be able to blast some of this down and use it here while I've got the power and send the power around. Or could I use it off? You know, there's so many different variations you could try and use. Can I use it off here? You know? I know it's bonkers, but it's a hugely massive unit. And obviously, here, I don't know whether I think it has to go off levees. I don't think it goes off. I don't think it'll work off these. Don't think it will. It's batted up to there, but I think that's okay, actually. I don't think it needs to... It might work. It's worth a try. Although what I'm going to have to do is obviously put some planks around here to take that out and put some levees up there and then test it. I don't know, you see. It's one of these things that with the dirt excavator, it's a pain of a unit to work out why sometimes it works and why sometimes it doesn't work. Now it might be this. You see where you can see here is it's because it's in. I'll have to blast this out to be able to get that front bit where you see the diagonal flat to this here. So it might not be this. I might have just to blast this out again. So I think we'll look into that. I want it close to this here as I can. Now in the past, I have had it here. But you can imagine how many logs and how many, all the stuff it takes off there. And when I mean the past, it was my own personal one. And then I moved it. I think it was just past here. Actually in the actual... dam that I created, you know, right around here. So, like I said, it is a weird... I think I can get that as a diagonal. I've got still enough left. Well, it doesn't really matter anyway, because I don't have... I'm not getting extract yet anyway, so I can't do... And I haven't unlocked them anyway, so... And we got back up to the 7,000 that I had previously, and I hadn't even noticed. Oh, I'm building this apparently, and I forgot. Oh well, never mind. Doesn't matter. I wanted to sort of build it anyway, but in my time and not its time. Obviously, I can't have another one at the other side because I can't get this in. I'd have to put levees right the way down. I don't particularly want to do that. But the scrap... Oh, they've done that really fast. Let's blow this up. I know I could do some custom keys as well. You could have like B for boom or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Or E for explode. Maybe E for explode. I don't know. Right, so we got the water back. We did lose... we did lose these. Oh, 2 days. 2 days for them. They're already dead. So that's not too bad. These will be already dead, but that's... You know, that's pretty good, that. I'm quite happy with that. bearing in mind that we haven't lost all hope. We've just lost a little bit. And I'll get these all the water back in. We didn't lose all the water we dumped as well. So this one, when it gets built, which needs 30 plank, you know, and I'll get this. I'll have to get this going again. And I've got to start thinking about how I'm going to do this, but I need to get rid of this all out the way. So it's a bit of everything. And how am I going to get up there to start building this monstrosity of a... obviously, I think we'll be able to get... In fact, I don't need to do that. Because they could get in there once they get this done. So that's something. Oh, I got this built. So now I'm holding back a lot more water in this trench. Which I'll probably just go to about 80%. I've got to be careful because I don't know whether these will slow themselves down. I'll pick that up because obviously that's planks. Thank you very much, Lee. Let's go back to a 2-speed just to... Sometimes I like to come off the fast speed because otherwise you lose everything, you know. I'll get all this, some of this built. I can now get rid of that and pick that up. I don't want to lose logs at the moment. We've got no builders in this hut at all, so I don't really need that many builders at this moment. How much of this have I lost? It dies in half a day. What's that achieving? I'm going to leave that off for now. Let's see how much of this... Yeah, this has an effect on this... I've only just put a little bit in and it's worked. So we'll have to fill this one up, but we can leave this one off because it's not doing anything about me, and I've got like inventors and wood storage there, so it doesn't really matter. That still needs planks, but we've got everything else in there. I've got 150 when I only had about 58, I think, when I started this place, so... We are achieving something, slowly but surely. We'll get... I will enable that eventually, but I'm not enabling it yet. And I will tear down some more of these things eventually. I don't think... Oh. That's interesting. I can actually store metal in that one, them ones as well. So I may use this for a storage up to now. And then think about how I'm going to do with it later on. I might... I'll be able to take this slot out because they can reach from there. Although, is that... No, that's not... Is that right to take this out? Maybe. Maybe we use this as a centerpiece or something like that. I may see if I could get what I call a 13. This spans 13. And the reason why is let's say we take this as a center. Now, if we can get 3 dirt this way, and we can get 3 dirt that way, we can actually put something on the top and give us a bit more room. So that's something to really consider when we build this. When we build this thing. I still think I think this is a goer. But the problem being is how do I get back over there? Because obviously I'm gonna have to take maybe this out. So maybe I just have to take this out now. And go over there. I've got to preempt what I'm doing, so otherwise I'll cause chaos for myself. It needs to be in there. If we build this, then I can actually start blasting that out. Just to see if the excavator will go there. You know, which is a nice place, because that means that I could just connect it to here, not have to worry about doing some crazy connection. I mean, I suppose you could also try and put it on... Well, I don't think it would get on here. It wouldn't go on there at the time, because obviously it can't fit itself in, but that's where it would... You see, how much room does this damn thing... Look how much room it takes up. It's an enormous blooming thing. I know it's probably not the biggest... I don't think it's the biggest building in the game, but it's really frustratingly annoying. And now I've got 9,000 now. I had 7,000... You know, I like to keep this going. I still haven't got a lot of logs. I'm gonna put the gears on. Because I don't want the problem with the water. So I'm going to turn this on. This is now done. So let's... This is storage. Let's see where all the scrap metal is. So we've got a scrap metal pile there. We've got a scrap metal pile there. Which makes sense, because we need it for the smelter. So I don't want to touch that one. We've got, obviously, a metal storage there. And we got one, the big one. So really, that's fine. That's not too bad. We've only got one that we don't really want. So let's turn this back on. And start grabbing all that thing. And to get it going a bit faster, as you do, I'll put a few more. Get them to be built. I know that it's going to take workforce from other things. Well, it's probably actually going to take inventors, really. Once I've got full here, obviously I'm building this, so once that comes on, that water's obviously going to be a lot. I don't want to get rid of this for them. I'm going to leave that there. I could probably get rid of these three. Like I said, I like to leave water dotted around. Just small clumps like this. Because if they pass it and they need it, they'll use it instead of going back to wherever, you know, say going back to the housing, for example, or whatever. It speeds everything up. I also tend to like to build things and move the storage and everything of that in first. Before I actually use it. Let's get another one. Well, we got 50 now, so that's good. Obviously, I could bring this one up, but I think I want to take this right down to the bottom. I can't. I don't think I can get that one. Or that one. No, I can't get that one. I will be able to get to it once it's at the bottom, so I'm not really that much worried. I can get this one and this one. I might even be able to get, when they walk there, to get this one. Yes. But I can't get this one. Well, in fact, actually I can get this one because they'll come down and then they can get it from there. That's not bad. That's Pucker Gen. That's Pucker Gen, man. That's good. Right. I've almost got the gears. I just haven't got the planks yet. Obviously, I've run out of planks, which is about right. If I've got the gears, well, just about. Look, I haven't got the gears, so I have to wait. I have to get them to build another gear, shove it in there, and then turn off the gears. So, because gears use the planks, and I don't want to use as much planks. Log situation is starting to improve. It would have been nice to get some oaks going, and that would have been there, but it's not really a lot of room yet to be able to do that sort of thing. Explosives are there. I don't actually want to get rid of that now. I want to keep it. Yeah, they're gonna absolutely rip this thing apart. Yeah, I can't do another one because then they wouldn't be able to get out. So I'll leave that. I want to take that down as fast as I can. Have I got this built? No, this isn't built yet, but I'll put that on. And then I could start on this. There must be a reason why I had that. Oh yeah, there is a reason why, because that's where our thing's gonna go. Hopefully I don't. It's probably going to take another video before we actually be able to utilize this. Obviously, I've got to go higher on here, and I've got to obviously make that sort of round there. Once I get this built as well, this is another. I need this getting built to be able to start sorting that. That's what you have to get in this game. You spend a lot of time waiting for stuff to be able to get built or designed or however you want to call it before you get anywhere, because you just don't have the resources to do it. That can now go. We'll be able to take this down, I think, and this. Well, in fact, I could do all back there, but I'm just going to do it line by line. Well, actually, I'm going to do that. I can actually do this as well, because I can reach that, but I can't reach this one. I should be able to reach this as well. Ah, hell, I'll just put it all on. Let's go for it. I've got 50-something, so I don't have to worry. That gives me... That's still not built yet. I'm still waiting for... Oh, right. So I've got the gear. I'm going to turn off gears now. That's going to give me these to do on their own. And they're not going to be using the planks. Like I said, they need planks. And we just want logs. I've got more... I've got 4 times the logs that I had when I started with. So that's good. When this thing gets built and starts chugging out with water, we'll not have much... I won't need to take as much out. That's what I'm trying to work towards. I'll take that. I don't need this anymore. Because I think they've got that. Yeah, that's another set of planks that we're going to get back. I mean, maybe benefit... Well, I can't. If I got the dirt excavator, I won't get it in. But having one of these in here... Because when we turn this off, there's always this pool of water here that, these trees will last a while anyway, so... it is what it is. We do what we can do. And we scratch our head as much as we can. I don't like that situation where I haven't got enough beavers. I'm going to turn this on and get them to build that with the logs. That'll give me another 9. This is a bit low. I want to increase it, but I have to be careful. And I need more room. Room is just a problem with all this. Yeah, I've got a lot more now. I'm gonna supply the warehouse and get that to go there. How did we do? We didn't do too bad. They're absolutely... Some of these, which is the closest? Probably maybe this one. I'll want to get up there and get that as well, but I'll have to take this out to do it, and I don't want to take it out until... I think they'll get these, but we'll see. We got 13. I mean, it's going to take a while, but at least I get them out of the way. This was the problem in my testing. I had so much scrap metal, and I didn't want to get this. I had to get it in the end because I was doing something else, but it's just working out where you want everything to leave it to... I mean, this will have to move eventually, I think. But at least it's not on the area where we can utilize. But this video has gone really fast. See, it's the thing with this game. You lose the track of time, and it just goes really fast. Do you know, one day I would love to do a marathon stream live on YouTube, but it's 12 hours. See if I could do a 12-hour stream. If you'd be interested in watching something like that, you know, obviously you wouldn't watch 12 hours, but what's Pig's doing? How far has he got now? And, you know, come in for 20 minutes, half an hour, and just have a look like you're doing this now, you know? Maybe we could come up with something like that. Decide between us as a community what I'd play. I don't think anybody's done that yet, actually. I've not seen anything like that before. I mean, obviously, people do other ones, but certainly not that. We're not doing planks. I need more arable. I need land. Need more land. Need more land. I know I could blast this down, which would make this a bit usable. I've got 50 something of them. I mean, I don't want to... I'll do that. Yeah, let's how far can it reach? If I blast this down, I think it would reach here, and at least I'd have just a couple more bits of food, I think. I wouldn't be able to have a forest or anything like that, but at least I'd have something. I'd be interested in taking this down and filling this in. Definitely if we can get a dirt excavator. I can afford the dirt excavator. It's only 2, and I can afford that. See, it's very expensive. To 3,000. So that's not, you know, that's why I keep these going. Because it's like free money, if you like. They are doing what they needed to do. We've still only got 2 planks. I've got 3 planks now. Yay! We are taking this out. Actually, why aren't they taking that out then? Oh, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? I haven't selected this for cutting. Well, that's a bit of an issue on my part. Because that will give us, you know, well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, you know, about 50 logs. But it's been there for donkeys, and it probably would have been able to be grown again. That's not a good idea, Pig, but never mind. It is what it is. Right, we're getting this done. I've run out of explosives on that section. But that means they're on here now, so they have to go get them again. I could empty them and put them back here, which actually wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, to be honest with you. I know we've flooded on here, but I'm not overly worried. I suppose you could argue the point that that means you're losing a bit of water, but I don't think it's having that much effect. I'm supplying 1200 and I'm only using 50 at the moment, so it's not as if I'm using a lot of it. Now we are going to need some extra metal. But that means logs. I wish in this game you could power, you know, to me, why does it need logs? Why does it need logs when it's already got power? It's like, well, what's the power for then? It sort of serves no purpose. I know they're saying it's fuel, but what's the power wheels for? I don't get that part, but I can understand. They've got to do something to make the game a bit more fair, you know, but it's sort of questionable in that way. But I do love the game. Don't get, you know, don't get me wrong. There we go. That's back full again. And we just keep emptying that when we're using it and get it to sort that out. And obviously I haven't got these yet, but these will get filled in as and when that's done. So there you go. I've got 200 and something. Now we're cooking on gas. We're finally cooking on gas. I've got that going. That's nearly full. Just need to wait for these. And then I'll probably be able to turn some of these pumps off. Just looking at the time. How's our scrap metal doing? They're scrap metaling. They're giving it some welly. So that's good. We're getting it under, yeah, so we're actually doing quite well there. Do I turn this on? I am going to need it on. That's what worries me. I'm just using the logs up, and I don't really want to use the logs up. I want to get the well-being up. Did I? What's that? That's a contemplation. Which would be nice for the well-being. But that loses 10 logs. I can sort of afford that one. I'll have that one. This is 12. Let's do that because it'll lock God and it'll increase the well-being. I'd like to get the well-being to 17 if I can. Because I'll get another boost. I think I get another boost at 17. Yeah. Next tier, plus 40 for life expectancy. I get one at speed is plus 60 at 15. So it's really beneficial to try and just tinker with it and get it a bit more. It's difficult in early, I think, to do it, but it's not the impossible. I'll put these as important because I want these done first. That's why I've not blown that. That's at a different level, so I might as well blow that. I'll blow this, and then I'll have to do another ladder. I'll have to do another ladder from this part here. Only the bottom part, so that's not too bad. If I do that, and then do that to... Well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Again, I might as well fill out a full... that. I'm going to have a ladder that goes from there to there, which I can now, and get this and this knocked out. I get this down. Although that's not really going to do much, but I don't think I want it anyway. I think I want it either to come fully from here, which sort of makes sense. It's the dirt, you know, once I get the dirt excavator going, I'd like to get 2, but I just don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be impossible to get 2 going. Once I decide with that, I need to potentially change that to the treated. I suppose it doesn't really matter. I could swap them around or just leave it there. I only say that because in the past I put the treated planks there. But it doesn't, you know. Obviously I need to get this going before I can do anything with this. But obviously I want to get the dirt, because then I want to fill it all in with dirt. So it's, you know, and then I can flatten it. The option is to fully flatten it, actually. Get it down to a single level, but do we need to? Questionable. Do we use it for housing? Another question. I think I'm trying to not use things for housing, but I think the problem being is if it's green, it's great, you know? It is what it is. This will blast down. I'll have to blast down and blast, you know, blast down. Oh, I can get one there. That's okay. But actually, if I do this and that, and we do that, I will then have to I'll have to do another ladder, but it is, again, it's how the only way that I can, I'll do it there, because when I take this out I can actually put the other explosive on there. So that'll go to there, that'll go to there, and then we'll be able to sort of do that. I've got 30 explosive left. I think we're making some. This is what I like. See, these only need power, and they just need bad water. They don't cost anything apart from the bad water, which we don't want anyway. I'll consider getting rid of that as well. I'll consider that that's as much as we can get on here. Until they'll get this one, they'll get this one and this one, and then they'll have to get these. Is that gonna? That's a problem. I will not put them in there because if I take these 2 out, oh, is that going to be a problem? No, I suppose it's not. As long as it doesn't get higher. This is a fluid dump anyway, so. In fact, I could probably do that. If it's going to flood here, if I take these, if it's going to flood here, it's going to flood here. So really, that was questionable at best, I think. There we go. We've got a 12 because of we got the Spaddock going. I'd like to get a bit more of that going. We've got a campfire, so we've only got 1 campfire. But it's a campfire nonetheless. I've still got some explosives. I don't want to get rid of them. I'm waiting to get rid of these, so I'm just waiting for them to... My other problem is I haven't got enough builders. Let's add the builders in. I've got 16 vacancies, but I need to eventually watch these and see if these are actually getting turned on. So really, I haven't got 16 vacancies. That's going straight into there. It should be going straight into there, but what I'll do is I'll do this again and let the explosive go back into there, so they're not walking so far. I haven't got hauliers yet, so I can't get them to haul from here to where around the map. We could start thinking about this. There's 25 planks there. That's not too bad. Still think in the next one I'll be able to get this going. And then obviously, but I still want the dirt excavator going. That's a prime example. I've got tons of science points. That's why I tried to do it as early as possible. And keep the science going, because that way it gives us options that we don't normally have. I still don't want that for food though. I really, really don't. I'm prepared to take out this. I'm prepared to take out that and that. And I'm prepared to take out that and get this picked up. Come on, get these logs. I will put the forester. I can put the thing there. I just want... I may get this section as a... If I get it, I'll put this section as a... as an oak. It's not a lot, I know, but it's something. And as we know, something is better than nothing. I'm going to push that really right forward as well, because I could get some oaks at the back. Everything... Because this is... I can't put them on there, because obviously that's that. So, if I do that, let's see how many... No, what I want to do is... Where can the lumberjack... He can do that. Right, let's put the lumberjack there. Let's just put it there, but build it. Because it's a free building to build anyway. It doesn't cost anything. Let's plant our famous oak trees. I don't want... I'm not sure if I do this, can they walk through that and actually get to these? So I can do them. It's not a lot, but don't forget, each individual one of them will give me 8. Yes, it's a 30-day cycle, but I wasn't really using it for anything. So, to me, it feels a bit beneficial. So I'm happy with that. I've got 15 left still, so that's pretty good. I'll take these 2 down. I think, like I said, I think we're going to use it for storage, maybe. Yeah, I suppose I could get some plants in there, but I'm still going to need storage. I need to find where I'm going to put all this scrap metal. This is not going to be enough, I don't think. I don't think 1,000 there is going to cut it. I mean, I know I'm going to be using it up for the metal, which is probably something, like I said... I could do with building. Let's consider building my the thing that I said. Oh, that was the first, wasn't it? It was this. So I can build this. This takes 8. It takes a lot of planks. It takes a lot. Why does that take planks? Isn't it metal? But anyway, let's not let's not complain. Just it'll be what it'll be, Piggy. I just thought these were full metal. They're not actually, either. Yeah, I might be able to get maybe some sort of food here or something like that. If I send this... If I send this this as a storage... get some water on here and get some food on there. Just to, if they're taking stuff like him, you see, he needs water. Where do you think he's going to go to get the water? He's going to have to trundle all the way back round here and probably get it from here, which is a right pain when there's just water there. In fact, I could probably have had a water dump on it. Just start a water dump on it. What? Right, we've got that to there. Oh, and out. See, I do it again. I do it again. Right there. My apologies for this. It's gone over the hour again. I try not to do it, but occasionally I looked at it was only like 50 something, and then it was like 15 minutes on from that. So my apologies. Yeah, if you would be willing to watch eventually a live stream, I understand, you know, the things, and you've got other things to do, etc., etc. But go in and out and that, and just let me know. Just put something in the comments, or send me an email to pigs@pigstv.com, and we can look into that sort of thing. Anyway, don't forget, as I've just said, just check out pigstv.com for all the latest videos, normally that week, before they come out on YouTube, so you can see PC, tablet, and obviously phone compatible. And we will see you in the next one. And don't forget, all the others are all starting back, and you'll probably get one of these every single day on a different map. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.